Will AI replace therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, doctors, nurses? What's going to happen? Because I'm sure you've heard it, like people are losing their jobs left and right with AI. 30% of jobs are going to be eliminated within the next 12 to 24 months. There's a lot of shifting going on right now in our world. The question is, does it affect you? I know the majority of you that watch this channel watch because you're in healthcare and you're trying to figure out, how do I make more money in healthcare? Well, right now we need to be asking ourselves, are we going to lose our jobs in healthcare? I have some good news for you, but I also have some concerning news for you as well. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. As always, guys, thank you for rocking me. Thank you for listening to the channel. I know I haven't been around as much. I've actually been in a transition, been moving, and now I'm actually having my home office and studio at my home here in Orlando. So anyways, let's get into what you're here for, which is for me to give value to you all. I want to show you some stats that I was able to pull up. I'm going to show you a graph, and I think this will be extremely, beneficial for you to look at. So as you can see on this graph here, let me move over here. So as you can see on this graph, we have some really good news with regards to healthcare, right? The top 10 jobs that are the safest, of those 10 jobs, I think 7 or 8 of them are clinicians, okay? So this study, if you look here, I'll just kind of break this down for you here. This study is 65 jobs with the lowest risk of automation by artificial intelligence and robots. This is from uscareerinstitute.edu, and look what it says here, okay? 2021 annual median wage, projected growth by 2031 of the actual profession, okay? So if you look here, nurse practitioners are at the top of that, physician assistants are up there, mental health counselors, nursing instructors and teachers. We won't even put coaches and scouts. I don't put that in healthcare, right? But athletic trainers, look at what's number 8, physical therapists. Look at what is number 10, occupational therapists. Okay, so you can kind of see as the list kind of goes on and on and on. These are all jobs where someone physically has to actually be there in front of the person. Okay, now, as I was doing my research on this and looking at, okay, like what's going to stay in, what jobs are going to be lost, right? It looks like we're good there. Here's the problem. The problem is, will we have an uptick in pay? And right now, what is happening is this. Right now, what's happening is that physical therapy schools, occupational therapy schools, speech therapy schools continue to go higher and higher in demand because of this. There's a lot of info-based professions that are not going to be needed anymore because of what's happening here, because of what's happening with AI. So I don't think therapists on a whole have too much to worry about with regards to keeping their jobs, even with this AI revolution. I think the thing we have to worry about is the fact that 30 to 40% of people are going to have their jobs eliminated because of AI. So what that tells me is that you're going to have a smaller pool of people that can actually afford services like what you and I give, okay? And what we give is we give services that are needed, but they are not mandatory. The reality is I'm a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 25 years. I did let my license lapse, but for the last 20 years of me treating, I still own my clinic. The value that I gave to people was obviously physically in person. Now I have a team of people that do that for my clients. But the majority of what it is that we're doing for people is not mandatory. Someone having a stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 diagnosis of cancer and having to get something removed from their body is mandatory. You going to a therapist for a back problem, a neck problem, a knee problem, and going X amount of times for a week is not totally mandatory. Okay, we want to feel like it is, but it really isn't. So we know that people are going to have less disposable income to work with because they're losing their jobs. So what is it that we're going to do to be able to offset that for people? Yes, the demand is going up. But as the demand goes up, that means that the cost for entry into the profession is going to go up as well because it's just supply and demand. But if we have less customers to be able to pull from, and people now feel pressed for time, and people are pressed for money, well, the way that we are taught in school, how are we going to reinvent ourselves so that people will still want to pay us? Maybe they're not going to be coming 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Even if they're seeing you 1 time a week, maybe they're going to be coming 1 time a month. So how are we going to offset that? That's a question that I think we need to ask ourselves. And I truly believe that the answer is for us to actually use AI. I think for us, what we need to do, and it's really what I'm doing right now in all of my businesses, is asking myself, okay, well, what jobs is AI coming for? Okay. And as I've pulled up different studies on what jobs AI is coming for, most of it is customer service jobs. Most of it is jobs to where it is the person that is front facing that is going to give someone information for them to actually go and see the people that the jobs are not being eliminated. So how do I make myself more front facing? How do I make myself more readily available to customers, to patients that will eventually see me, or maybe not see me as much? How do I do that? I think one of the ways, that we can do that is by using AI chatbots. So you're like, what? Chatbots? Okay, so let me kind of break it down in layman's terms. A chatbot is basically a version, or at least the chatbot I'm talking about, is a version of you 24/7, 365. Okay, one of the things that I know is this. I know that in traditional therapy, my patients will see me anywhere between 1 to 3 times a week, traditionally, okay? And when they are seeing me, during that time, I'm doing sometimes, manual work on them. Sometimes I'm instructing them and telling them to do certain things to help to heal and get their body to recover. But a lot of time that requires, or I'm giving them information, okay? And I've had patients tell me so many times, oh my gosh, like you did tell me that last time, but I totally forgot. I wish I could bring you home with me. I wish I could have you on speed dial. And so an AI chatbot is basically a way for you to take your knowledge, your systems, the approach that you take, and give people access to you using this thing, a phone, giving them access to you and your knowledge base 24/7, 365. So they have a question about if their neck is hurting them, how do they sleep? What are your recommendations for that? If their back is hurting them, how do they sit at work? How long should they sit for? A knowledge base of everything that you know and that it is available to them. You can do that through a few different services like ChatGPT. That's one. It's called an actual customized GPT. And I have done that for myself. You can do that through actually having an AI version of you. This is me in real time. But there is an AI version that I have of Greg where I can actually show up on a Zoom or a Skype call, and it is an AI version of me, but it's still taking all the knowledge that I have and it's talking to someone, okay? You just have to be transparent with people that, hey, this is an AI version that you would get of me. These are all different things and services that you can add to people that's going to give them a higher level of customer service, that is going to give them what they want, which is you on demand without you having to be there. So we have to start to think of what are ways that we are going to be able to help more people, knowing that 30 to 40% of people are going to be losing their jobs within the next 12 to 24 months. And their disposable income for the services that we provide, even though we're not losing our jobs, the services that we provide, they are not going to be able to afford it at the level that they're affording it right now. That's the thing I want you to think about. I'm actually going to be doing a masterclass on the ways that I'm doing it right now in healthcare, the ways that I'm doing it right now for consulting, the ways that I'm doing it right now for my virtual staffing agency, the way that I'm doing it right now for even my rental business, how I'm using AI right now to generate an additional, well, for me, it's about 10,000 in each of the things that I'm going to show. I've been able to generate additional $10,000 a month in 5 different areas. And the areas that I'm going to show you on this masterclass are areas that you can do. Now, I'm not expecting that you're going to do 10,000 a month. You might not have the things figured out that I have figured out and you haven't been in business as long, but every single one of you could generate an additional $500 a month in at least one of these things if you just said, okay, I'm going to use AI versus not using AI. Even though those stats said healthcare is not going to be affected, I truly do believe healthcare is going to be affected because we're not going to have as much customers to pull from. So we have to make our services better. And I think that we need to tap into AI to make sure that we do that. So anyways, I hope that helped you. I hope that serves you. If you guys want to come to the masterclass, you'll see it in the description below. We'll give you a link to it. Or you can text us 813-534-6453. I'm pretty much sure that's the number. 813-534-6453. Just text masterclass and we'll send you a link to it. All right.